Hi everyone, good morning P4. I hope all of you are doing safe and sound in their respective houses. I am asking and hoping that all of you will have the energy to start today's home-based learning. First, before we begin, I want you to prepare all your materials for maths. Your workbook, maths journal, homework paper labeled Chapter 12, Solving Word Problems under Decimals, and also your writing materials. On your maths journal, make sure to write journal number 1, the date today, and the topic that we are about to discuss. Let's get started. Today, we are going to focus on Chapter 12, Decimals, Solving Word Problems. In today's lesson, I want you to focus on the big idea that solving word problems and decimals is just basically the same as whole numbers. All the 4 operations that we've learned, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, will be something that of use in order for you to solve word problems involving decimals. Whenever we solve word problems, make sure to remember the steps that you would be applying as you look into each detail of the problem. First things first, read the problem carefully. Second, gather important information and strategize how to solve the problem. Let's try to take a look at the first example that we're going to work on for today. Let's try to take a look at the first problem that we have. A pail contained 2.75 liters of water. A tank contained 1.26 liters, more water than the pail. How much water was there in the tank? Now, in this given problem, I want you to identify the important information that you would be needing. You would also be, and it's going to be necessary for you to draw models to help you understand the problem. What are the essential or important information in the given problem? Let's try to read it the second time. A pail contained 2.75 liters of water. I may draw the given part of the problem. Let's say this is our bar model for the pail. Make sure to always label your bar. Second sentence says, a tank contained 1.26 liters, more water than the pail. So as apart from the pail, we also have a tank. Do we know how much water is there in the tank? The problem did not state it. But we can also see the word than. This tells us that this is a comparing bar. So we will be doing bars apart. To which are we comparing the tank? You're comparing the tank with the pail. Which one is more? It says that the tank contained 1.26 more water than the pail. So most likely, our bar for the tank should be longer. Let's label. This one is for the pail, and this is for the tank. Again, what kind of problem is this? This is a comparing bar. We also want to write and label which type of word problem are you working on. For today's discussion, you may want to label it as a comparison word problem or comparing word problem. Now going back to the story, a tank contained 1.26 more water than the pail. Do we know how much water is in the tank? No. But we know in the given detail that it contains 1.26 more water than the pail. This part shows us 1.26 or their difference. So again, label. What do we need to find out in the given problem? We need to know how much water was there in the tank. Now our next step is to plan and identify the operation that we would be using. Looking into the given bar, we are looking for the tank, and that would mean that we need to look for a certain amount that is way higher. What operation are we going to use? So for our planning stage, we are going to add or put together 2.75 with 1.26. Make sure to perform the necessary workings and write it neatly and nicely. Yeah. So 2.75 added to 1.26. Remember the steps that we've learned in our previous chapter. Make sure that all the decimals are aligned and check and see if they have the same number of decimal places, so you won't have a mistake adding the decimals. So we have 2.75 plus 1.26. Adding up all the values, we would be getting 4.01. So for our statement, we may conclude that the tank contains 4.01 liters of water. You may also check the reasonableness of your answer by working backwards. So you may subtract 4.01 with 1.26. Now let's proceed to our next problem. I hope that you remember the steps that you would be needing as you solve the given word problem. Now let's read. City had $8.50. She spent $3.75 on a book. How much money did she have left? How much money did City have? She has $8.50. How much did she spend on a book? She spent $3.75. After gathering the given information, what are we looking for? We're looking for how much money did she have left. Let's draw the given information that we were able to get. First, we know that City has $8.50. Label your given bar. How much did she spend? She spent $3.75. So that would mean that we are going to take a certain part in our bar. So what kind of word problem are we working on? We are working on a part whole word problem. Make sure that you are also doing this in your journal entry as we go through the given problem. Again, do not forget to label your bar. So this is $3.75. So we're looking for the amount of money that was left with City. So for our plan, using the given bar, we're looking for a specific amount that is lesser than her original or first amount, the first amount that she has. So what are we going to do? We are going to, I hope you get it right. We're going to subtract $8.50 with $3.75. Make sure to also show your working. Going to the next step, let's execute the plan and show our working. So for our working, I want you to simply subtract the given values. After getting the certain amount, do not forget to write your statement as well. So you can say or start with, she was left with blank. We're already done looking into two kinds of word problem. First is the comparison model, and second is the part whole word problem. Now let's look into this next problem. Julie used 4.25 meters of cloth to make a dress. How much cloth did she use to make 4 such dresses? How much cloth did Julie use to make a dress? Again, I want you to try doing this in your journals. So we know that Julie used 4.25 meters of cloth. How many dresses did she make? She made 4 dresses. What do we need to find out in the story? We need to know how much cloth did she use to make for such dresses. Let's try to show the information that we got using the bar. First, we have 4.25 meters. Again, do not forget to label your bar. We are looking for 4 dresses, and she used 4.25 meters to make a dress, or one piece of dress. So in this given problem, we would be needing 4 units of 4.25. So that would mean you're supposed to have 4 equivalent units. This shows you what kind of word problem. Can you guess? This is what we call a part. We have 4.25 and the other given parts. What do we actually need to find out in the problem? We need to know how much cloth did she use for such dresses. So this is a part whole word problem. So in a given bar, we know that 1 unit is the same as 4.25. And we would be needing 4 units to solve the problem. So what are we going to do to get 4 units? We simply multiply 4.25 by 4. That would be our plan. Again, do not forget to show your workings as you work through the given problem. So 4.25 times 4. Remember in our previous lesson to multiply all the given decimals with a whole number. So we start with 500ths multiplied to 4. We'll be getting 20 hundredths. So we'll need to regroup. 2 tenths multiplied to 4 would be 8 tenths plus the 1 being regrouped, so we have 10 tenths. So we would need to write 0 and regroup 1. Now going across the decimal point, do not forget to write it on your answers as well. Now we have 4 ones multiplied by 4. We have 16 plus the 1 being regrouped, so we have 17. So we could say that 4 units is equivalent to 17 meters. Take note that I did not write the 2 zeros anymore since I can already round it off to the nearest whole. And this is just simply the same. So for your statement, do not forget to write she used blank. So complete the statement. Now how is this word problem different from the first part whole? Notice that we used units. It would also be of help if you indicate to which 1 unit is equivalent to, and so on and so forth. For the last word problem, let's go through the same step once again. First, let's read. The length of a garden hose was 12.48 meters. David cut the hose equally into 6 pieces. What was the length of each piece? Let's look into the important information in the given word problem. What was the length of the garden hose? We know that it is 12.48 meters. Into how many pieces did David cut it equally? David cut it equally into 6 pieces. What do we need to find in the given problem? We need to know what was the length of each piece. How are we going to represent this using our bar model? I wonder what kind of word problem do we have right now? Can you guess? Let's see. In the given problem, we have 12.48. That talks about the length of the garden hose. And this was cut equally into 6 pieces. So this gives me an idea that 12.48 is our whole. And 6 pieces would be the parts in our given whole. So for this word problem, I want you to label in your journal as you try to answer that we are working on a part whole word problem. But then again, which operation are we going to use? Let's see. Now, how do we represent 12.48? Let's try to draw our whole, and do not forget to label. Now, our whole is divided equally into 6 pieces. To make sure that I would be getting equal parts, I will try my very best to cut it into 2 equal parts first. I know that dividing 6 into 2 equal parts would mean that there should be at least 3 equal parts on both sides. There. What are we looking for in a given problem? We're looking for the length of each piece. Meaning, I'm looking into 1 unit. This 1 unit will definitely have the same size with the rest of the parts. What will be our plan or number sentence for this bar model? So given the word problem that we have, we are to divide. So this is a part whole word problem involving division. So what are we dividing? We know that 12.48 is equivalent to how many units? We have 6 units. What do we need to find out in a given problem? We need to know how many is, or we need to know the length of 1 unit. So what do? Try to think on your own. So in order for us to get 1 unit, we would be dividing 12.48 into 6 parts. Now let's show the working. 12.48 divided by 6 would be, first let's start with the whole. How many 6 are there in 1? It's not possible. How many 6 are there in 12 ones? We would be getting 2. 2 multiplied by 6 would be 12. So we're left with nothing. So we're from the whole numbers, we're crossing to the decimals. So do not forget to write down your decimal point on your quotient. Then bring down 4. How many 6 are there in 4/10? It's not possible, so we put a 0. Then let's bring down or regroup 8. So this time we have 48 hundredths. How many 6 are there in 48? We have 8. 8 times 6 would be 0. So 12.48 divided by 6 would be 2.08. So for our statement, we can say that the length of each piece is 2.08 meters. Now, how do we check if our answer is reasonable? We can work backwards. Checking the reasonableness of our answer, of course, would be the best thing to do in order for us to avoid mistakes, especially if we have enough time every time we're doing our worksheet or topical test. So to check, I know that 1 unit is 2.08. I hope my space is enough then. So 2.08 repeated 6 times would be, let's check, 8 hundredths times 6 would be 48 for group 4. 0 tenths times 6 is 0. Add 4. So we have 48. Copy the decimal point. Once are done with the decimals, proceed to the whole number, which is 2. 2 once multiplied by 6 is 12. Does our answer make sense? Is it reasonable enough? Or you may also estimate and check and try to gauge what will the answer be. If you are to divide 12.48 by 6, I would think of rounding off 12.48 to 12. So 12 divided by 6, most likely I would be getting an answer that is around 2. So this makes sense. Is 2.08 close to the whole number 2? I hope you have the same idea as well. That would be all from me. Now it's time for you to try and see what you have learned in our discussion. I want you to proceed to your next task and answer textbook pages 121 to 122. Since the bar model is already indicated in there, just keep in mind or try it out in your maths journal. How are you going to represent the given information in those 4 different problems? You may also want to label the type of word problem that is being shown or given in items 1 to 4. After that, you may check if your answers are correct. I have uploaded the answer key for this exercise. I hope all of you would have a good day today. Again, enjoy the rest of the week and keep safe. We are praying for everybody's safety as of this time.